Hi everybody, good afternoon. I hope you all enjoyed your bank holiday weekend and you're back into the swing of work today. Thanks for joining us. For today is part of our three-part um, webinar series for AAC Awareness Month. So this week we are focusing on AAC for aphasia. So last week we did AAC for text users, and the week previous we did for symbol users. So I believe they're up on our YouTube channel now. If you missed them and you wanted to catch up on them. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Connor Quigley. I'm the CEO of SafeCare. So SafeCare itself, we're based in Cork. We class ourselves as an assistive technology company. We distribute brands like Adapt, Toby, Abelia, BJ Live, AbleNet. Big part of the company obviously is AAC and communication, but we also do things like environmental control, cognition, sensory products, etc. So have a look on our website if there's any other areas of the company you'd like to learn more about. So today we're talking about AAC for aphasia. So we're going to focus primarily on TD Snap Aphasia. We're going to look at the new features within it that are specific for aphasia, and then the supporting resources to help therapists, family members, users alike to support them in their language and therapy. So look, as a company, we have different applications for different types of communicator. So we've TD Snap, Communicator 5, and BoardMaker. We focused a little bit more, say, on Communicator last week, and this week we're looking at TD Snap for aphasia, so the aphasia page set within it. So TD Snap for aphasia. So obviously, aphasia is a language disorder that impacts the ability to use and understand language. And there wasn't a huge amount available for people with aphasia when it comes to AAC. So TD Snap. If you're not familiar, actually, I should have highlighted that TD Snap is the new name for SnapCore First. So if you were using SnapCore First, or you're familiar with SnapCore First, it's now renamed TD Snap, particularly because of new products within it, such as the Snap for aphasia and Snap for text users. So just kind of to give a little bit more understanding that it's not just the core first page set, that it also includes TD Snap Aphasia. It's included in the app, so you don't have to purchase anything extra. So TD Snap Aphasia is built for adults with aphasia to help support speech and language. The software provides a selection of communication tools to help aid language recovery and provides a way to communicate right away. So even on those people that are trying to recover their language, TD Snap has tools there for them for those very early stages to help them communicate right away. So if you're familiar with SnapCore First, and you've done some training on, and you know how to edit, and you know how to move around the software, it is similar, but in those and how you move around the software, but there's features in it specifically for aphasias, things like a whiteboard. So it's a digital version of a pen and paper. It helps create a shared space for people with aphasia and their communication partners to engage in conversation. So you can use the whiteboard just by using touch on the device. You can also, upload photographs or images that you have, or take a picture there and then, and communicate directly using the whiteboard. It's got rating scale, so quick communication, such as expressing pain or what somebody thought about something, or they want to give an opinion on something. So it's very easy to customize and to change the levels of complexity, but it's in there as standard from the off. You've got word lists, so these are categories of words. Again, these can be used for therapy. So unlike, we'll say, maybe some of our, maybe SnapCore First in our symbol-based software, where we're working on sentence structure and putting words together to create sentences, word lists are very prominent in Snap Aphasia, maybe for those users that are searching, that are, might need a word to finish a sentence. They're word searching, or for those that want to use it for therapy. They want to hear the word repeatedly and try to say it back. So there's word lists, scripts. So templates for routine conversations. Scripts are very prominent within the software, so they can be, there's defaults in there, but obviously they're there to edit. So again, I'll show you these shortly. Photo albums, so people where they can start conversation using photos. They can talk about their family or their memories or whatever it might be, using photographs to engage in that dialogue, to engage in that communication. So then to support all this, that's a very brief, just maybe some of the features that that aren't in, say, Snap Core First or in the text-based page set that are specific for the aphasia. I'll show you them shortly, but I just want to highlight them. Also with Snap Aphasia, there's a lot of supporting material to go with it, whether it's implementation resources, training cards, a needs assessment, stuff there for everybody from therapists to communication partners to the user themselves on how they might use the software. So again, I'll go through some of these shortly and on where to find them and how to use them, so we can have a look at them. So look, I think the best thing to do now is to just dive in and have a look at the software. So I'll come out of this, and here I'm in this is what TD Snap Aphasia looks like when you open it up for the first time. If you already have, if any of your speech and language therapists or teachers, and you have a professional license of TD Snap already, and you might be using the Core First page, if you want to find aphasia in your software, all you do is you press the edit button up here, which is the cog with the wheel. Go to page set down here at the bottom, and I'll click here. But what you do is you download page set. Sorry, not download. So you create page set, and here you'll get a list of all the page sets that are available in your software. So you just have to tick on aphasia page set, and it'll come into your software. So as I said, if you already have a professional license of TD Snap, if you don't, we'll send you how to get one after the webinar. And this is where you'll find the aphasia page set, Core First, and text page. So we're focusing on the aphasia today. So when you load it, it'll look like this. You can change it into different sizes. You don't have as many kind of options as, say, the Core First page set. So you can do 6x5, 4x3, or 3x3. So again, depending on the person you're working with, if you want bigger buttons, if you want a less maybe complex screen, you might bring it down to 3x3. But for the purpose of the webinar, I'm going to put it on 6x5. Okay. So your home page, the first page, is this word list page we spoke about. So again, you've just got categories of words, and so whether that's around, and again, there's not a huge amount in each of them. You're probably going to add more and more to customize it for the person you're working with. So, you know, you might put in, create a button for Connor, and, you know, I can put in a picture if I want. I'll put in one for Sheeta, who's also here on the webinar with us, and you can, you know, keep customizing this and adding in popular names of people that you might be in your circle of people you know. So again, you might have my own name. My own name is Connor, but when I press on the button, you know, obviously I can keep pressing it, and I might want to try and repeat that word, or I might be searching for that word. I might go, oh, that's Ishita. That's Ishita. So again, these are broken into different categories. So I can go into drinks. Few ones there. Again, we could be working on therapy, so it could be coffee. Okay, and I'll try and repeat it myself, and so on and so forth. And I can create different lists. Again, I can break it down into different categories within. So there are the word lists. Again, you've got kind of a few of the most frequently used categories, and then obviously you can create your own word list. These are just blank lists, and create your own categories of words and input them then into the software. So that's the word list. On the left hand side here where it says word list, this is my navigation, how I move between the different areas of communication within the software. So the next one under is Quickfires. So Quickfires would be that kind of formulaic language, those phrases that we'll use kind of frequently throughout a day, or we'd use them over and over again in different scenarios. So things like yes and no, thank you, you're welcome. So again, these phrases. Also, sorry, what I didn't mention is with the aphasia page set, it uses what's called they're the thin line in context symbols. So as you can see here, these symbols are very much more, if you're maybe just to give reference to what I mean. So if we take a look at these symbols, they're very much more adult. They're in context, meaning you'll see a lot of gesturing, maybe pointing. Here we can see this guy is waving. Maybe that means hello. Maybe for those people that may not have any symbol recognition prior to their injury. These in context symbols are there to primarily help people with aphasia maybe understand a little bit more so what the symbol means. You'll also find the text is on par. The label is on par to the left of the symbol. so that, you know, maybe there might be word recognition or symbol recognition. So they're both kind of given equal importance on the button. Just in comparison to maybe say a symbol user on Core First, we'll see here these are using the kind of the maybe the PCS symbols you're probably more familiar with, or the egghead symbols we call them. And again, you know, the label is below, the symbol is given a little bit more prominence on the button. But for the aphasia page set, it's using those much more, they're called a thin line in context, so those more adult feeling symbols. So again, yeah, and in context. So again, you can break these quickfires, these phrases, down into different categories. So you might want to talk about your feelings, and again, you know, the symbols kind of maybe giving a bit more indication what the button might say. So
I'm worried, I'm frustrated, I'm angry,
and so on and so forth. And again, you can edit these to suit. These are just kind of the default ones that are in place. So they're the quickfires. Quick phrases, usually it's the one button press to get your message out, get it out quickly. So then we move on to the whiteboard. So here is the whiteboard. So this is what it looks like when you bring it up. If you have a touchscreen, you can just, you know, move your finger along and draw. You might have you know, you might have a conversation where, you know, I might be introducing myself, Connor, and then I'll ask you to put in your name, and you might do a different color. I'm going to say I'm talking to Ishita. She can type it. We could, you know, add an image to it if we wanted to. You can take a photo. Obviously, I can't because I'm using my camera here for the thing. So let's just say I don't know. I'll pick a photo here and just say, oh, I use this is my communication device. This is how I communicate. So I use this to talk, and so on. And you can save these whiteboards. You can have multiple whiteboards. So I can just click a new whiteboard and start another one here, and that old one will always be there in my system. So I can have as many of these whiteboards as I want. I can keep them. I might you know, there might be a list of questions I have here or something like that, and you can have that kind of joint conversation between two people. You might, as I said, use different techniques of how you might use different colors. One person's using black, one person's using red, and so on and so forth. So again, sometimes, you know, I've been in assessments and we use this, and it can really alleviate frustration quickly if somebody's trying to get their message across and they're searching for that phrase or searching for that word in their head, and, you know, they might just be able to write it out on the whiteboard. Might be the quickest way to do it. So again, you'll find that in the left hand side here in our navigation menu. Then we have two ways of topics. We've got topics grid and topics visual scene. So again, you know, we might want to talk about specific activities or hobbies or, you know, about myself and so on. So again, we're just categorizing these kind of pre-stored phrases and words into topics. So the topics grid is all symbol based. So you can see even the kind of the folder itself uses a symbol to indicate what it might be about. So if I wanted to talk about sports, I can see I have a symbol for sports. I go in here and we can see that I've got some phrases around sports.
Who is playing? What is the score?
And so on. And of course, as I said, you can edit all this to suit. You also have scripts. So again, these are really, really good and powerful to use. So
let's watch the game. I can't believe this game. Look who is winning.
So we might have a kind of pre-made conversation prior to an event or a meeting or something that we're doing. Maybe sports mightn't be the best one, but if we go to appointments, for example, I might have a script here. Hi, my name is, and we'll edit these. I have an appointment. I have an appointment.
I have an appointment with Anthony.
You know, we'll edit that. So like we could be going into, you know, my doctor's surgery, and I want to have, you know, I need to talk to the receptionist before I go through. So, but hi, my name is Connor. I have an appointment at 2:00 with, you know, Dr. Quigley or whatever it may be, and thank you. So again, it just helps, you know, can take away that nervousness of that kind of that conversation, can, you know, help a person, you know, call it performance anxiety of using the device in front of maybe a stranger or something, that they can have that script ready for, you know, having that conversation with somebody pre-prepared. So again, you might be going into the shop and you might want to ask, you know, ask what, you know, where's the newspapers, or where can I find the fruit, etc. And you'll have those ready within a script. So every topic will have its own, so weather will have its own script. So every morning I check the weather. I look at
my weather app.
and so on and so forth. So again, you can change all this to suit. We'll have our pre-stored phrases, and there's also kind of a link to words about the weather. So just bring us to maybe the phrase. There mightn't be a phrase here to say what I was looking for. Just somebody might ask, "What's the weather like outside?" And you go, "Look, I go in here. It's
cold.
It's actually cold." You might just want that one word response to a question rather than putting a whole phrase together. So that's the topics grid. As I said, it primarily focuses on the symbol as our kind of way of navigating around, whereas the topics visual scene, it's the same topics, it's the same phrases, but it focuses more on photographs to kind of help the user to find out what the topic is about. Because again, we kind of discussed earlier that their symbol recognition mightn't be very strong, especially initially when they're using the system. So when they're on the topics grid, they might not fully understand what each topic is. So they might go in here and they might say, "Is this the one I need to see about going to my doctor?" And they go in here and they're still not really, they mightn't understand the symbols. Whereas with the visual scene, when I go to health here, it's got a photograph here. And when I go in here, it's like, all right, okay, this must be about the doctor because there's a picture of a doctor in here, and then the same.
I want to see the doctor.
There's the same phrases are here, but the photograph just kind of gives the user a little bit of an indication of, okay, I'm in the right area here. This photo seems to be about what I was trying to communicate about, or the weather. Okay, right, this must be about the weather because I don't know, it's outside. And again, you can change these photos to suit. My family. You're going to put a picture of your own family there, and you're going to say, okay, this must be about my family, and I want to communicate about my family, and here's all my phrases and words about my family is linked around here. So again, look, you can use both, or you can use either or. So the visual scene, as again, primarily focuses on a nice big photo. Oh, great picture of my dog. This must be about my dog. These phrases here must be about my dog. So I can start my conversation from here. So again, look, depending on who you're working with, you can use either or. So whatever works best for them. So there are the topics. Again, kind of pre-stored phrases around kind of categories, hobbies, whatever it may be. When I scroll down, I have a keyboard. So if I can do a
HAL. Hello.
I can do a simple text to speech if the user is able. They can use a keyboard and they can type their message. Some people, if they're using the whiteboard and the keyboard, might be two good areas for them to communicate. And again, it's got predictive word. They use the symbol that might give them a little bit of an indication of what what their
name is.
So you can do a bit of prediction.
Comma.
You can do a bit of predicting around using the prediction word as well. So again, look, the keyboard is there, and then inside your dashboard, again, you have things like it'll tell you the day, the date, the time.
13:20. Tuesday.
So again, if people need those reminders, things like there's a calendar here, and that you might put in your daily activities, your schedule. Just note this isn't a kind of a dynamic calendar or anything like that. It's not going to send a push notification to say that you have an appointment at 2 or 3 o'clock. It's more of a visual aid more so than anything. So again, we could put in what we're doing today. We could put down a visual, at 11:30. We've got swimming, and it can go in and I can create my whole schedule for the day, or I can use the weekly schedule where again, right, okay, I want to see what I'm doing each week. I might have swimming here. We might go on a Friday. In the evening, we go dancing, and so on and so forth. And you can fill that out. But as I said, it's not going to remind you, or it's not going to send you a notification. It's more of a visual aid that somebody can see what maybe their schedule is like for the week or whatever it may be. So I'll go back. Again, you have calendars. So if you wanted to put out what you're doing in each of the months, so they can check,
March.
that they have, put in, my label, and I might put in birthday, just for, so I can see that, on March 4th, it's my birthday. And it is my birthday for any of you out there that want to know that. If you want to send me a present on the 4th of March, now you know. So that's the calendar. It says you can do daily activities, weekly schedule, the calendars, and so on and so forth. Just visual aids. The photo album, again, using photos to start a conversation, to initiate that conversation, to talk about something in particular. So we might do, I'm going to change this to, you know, maybe my family album. And inside here, then I can put all my photos to start a conversation. To see what that might look like here, you know, this is a photo, and I can change this. It says add your text, so I can say, oh, let me change this. This is my daughter, and just edit, and then
This is my daughter.
and I move on to the next one, and click on this. I like Italian food.
I like Italian food.
And so on. So again, you're using that kind of photo album. You can create all your own, upload your own photos, and you can use these then to communicate. So so that's your photo album. Really nice feature, really good to use. And obviously the Aphasia page set has all the different access methods. So if they're a switch user, if they're an eye gaze user, obviously as well as a touch user, they can access all this via the system. Things like Google Assistant and Alexa. You know, there's phrases pre-made in here for, you know, if you've got an Alexa nearby, or if you've got a Google Home or whatever it may be, you know, you can ask it questions, and it'll give you the information back. So again, there, you know, you've got your Google integration and your Alexa integration, which can be very nice. People might set up their reminders using Alexa. We find a lot of times you might, you know, and they might say, do I have any appointments today? Alexa, do I have any appointments? Do I have any meetings today? I might say, yes, you have a doctor's appointment. Don't forget to take your medication, and so on and so forth. So you can set up all those and have quick little messages that it talks to the Alexa system as well. Rating scales. So again, these could be, you know, I heard you watched the movie over the weekend. What did you think about it? You know, using the rating scales, or you could use it for pain or whatever it may be. You can edit these to suit. You can change these icons up here if you feel that they're not suitable or applicable. I think so we have pain scales already set. So 0 to 5 or 0 to 10. You know, how are you feeling today? How's the pain? You know,
6.
and so on and so forth. So, so the rating scales are nice, and you can use them in lots of different ways to communicate. So they're the kind of generally how the system is set up. You know, some of it might be useful, some of it might not for your users. So again, if you're familiar with how to change things on Snap, you can easily just hide a whole section. You know, maybe, you know, move the whiteboard up and so on, and you can edit it to suit the user. You know, you might hide the topics grid and the quickfires, and now my user is only kind of using these areas because that's what's most beneficial to them. So you can, if you have those kind of skills of editing skills, or how to use the system from using Snapcore First or anything in the past, they transfer over to TD Snap Aphasia. It's the same way to edit. It's the same way to, you know, move a button or hide a button, or, you know, all the, like you can see down here, all this is exactly the same, your kind of editing features. So if you were maybe somebody that worked with maybe non-verbal kids, and now you're working in aphasia, and you were using Snapcore First primarily, those skills that you learned before will transfer, and you'll be able to use them working with aphasia. So if you have any questions as I'm going along, just fire them into the Q&A area, and I can go through anything, or if you want me to go through anything in a bit more detail there, we can do so. I'll bring it back, and done. So that's the software itself. As I said, you can find it in Edit, Page Set, and Create Page Set, and just click on the Aphasia page set. If you've got a new user, and this is a new feature in setting up TD Snap, if you download TD Snap and it's available on an iPad or on iOS iPads or Windows devices, and it comes obviously on all the Tobii Dynavox products. So if I set up a new user, this is what it looks like. So if I download the software for the first time and I'm getting started with somebody, I click Get Started. It'll ask who's going to do it. So I'm going to say I'm working with Ashita today. I'm going to click over. So it asks you here now with TD Snap, what type of communicator are we working with? Which best describes Ashita? So does she need text with symbol support for all ages? Does she need text only? Or does she have aphasia? So in this instance, we're going to click has aphasia, and now the software is going to be set up for it'll go into the page set automatically. So let's pick a voice. Last few which grid size. So there's only 3 grid sizes available for the aphasia page set. So we'll go with 6x5 again. I click done, and I'm straight into the software. So it's very easy to get somebody started and up and running. If they're a new user to the software, it'll direct you to the aphasia page set if that's what you require. Some of the resources that go with aphasia, you will find them on our website. So if you go to our website and you click on support, just over here on the right hand side, this will so this brings in here, it's under software support. You'll find TD Snap, and then you'll see we've broken it down into 3 different page sets. So aphasia stroke. So we'll find our aphasia resources. So here you'll see there's lots of different resources, anything from an overview. So I think we have a YouTube video there giving you just kind of a brief 5-minute overview of the different features within it. To the training cards. So the training cards are literally how you set it up, where you find it, an introduction to it, multi-modal strategies, communication partner strategies, and setting up the aphasia page set, and so on. And it'll bring you down through how you customize the toolbar, how you edit it. So really kind of there's only 16 pages in it or whatever, but really easy way to kind of find how to do different activities. So here's how we create a shopping list, how we do house cleaning, directing care, etc., and so on. So a few little kind of strategies they're in the training cards, but also then it gets a little bit more. We've got much more specific resources, like say if I go into implementation resources, and here we've got communication partner techniques. So this might be for a spouse or a family member. How do they, telling us to be patient and decrease distractions. Sorry, a bit of a tongue twister. Create a positive communication environment. So it's just giving some kind of strategies to those people working with or living with somebody with aphasia maybe, and then appropriate AAC use and a strategy, etc. So very kind of not very heavy in terms of the amount of literature there for somebody to go through, but just kind of maybe you might if you're a therapist, you might share that with somebody, a communication partner, just to kind of get them understanding what techniques they could start to implement. There's an AAC needs assessment, so place for you guys to start. It's an AAC needs assessment guide, for you to decide whether this is a good fit for the person you're working with. This is participation in everyday activities. So where to find how to use the word list, where to find the topics, how you might change them to suit, and basically what each one of those sections we spoke about, the photo albums, the topics, the rating scales, give you a little technique to how you might use it or what they're used for. Again, might be very useful for a family member or a spouse to just kind of understand what different ways we're going to use the software, and then telling your story. So how do you tell your stories using the aphasia page set? So here it focuses on the photo album. How can we share memories? How can we share my life stories within the software, within using the AAC app. Teaches you how to go in and add those photographs, how to change the message, change the text, and so on and so forth. So again, that's in the implementation resources. I can go out and there's the topic interest inventory. So like again, we've got loads and loads of this might be something where you're deciding when I have the software open and we're kind of going through it and we're saying, right, which one of these topics are suitable for the person that we're working with. We don't want to confuse them too much. We don't want to overwhelm them with the amount of maybe folders or words on the system. So we might do an interest inventory and start ticking off do you think this is an area of interest? Very much so, somewhat not at all. And we can tick down through it. You might give that to a family member. You might go through it with the user themselves and say, and then we can edit the software to kind of take away maybe the topics that aren't relevant and maybe make the ones that are relevant a bit more kind of prominent in the software, so it might be easier for the user to find it. Drawing in TD Snap. So again, how do we use the it's more kind of the theory behind using the whiteboard, why we'd use it, why it's suitable for people with aphasia. So again, probably a bit more for the therapist and the family member, but again, might be good to share and to go through why you would use it, and it might give you some ideas, and then obviously where to find it and how to use it. So again, it highlights the research that it used to go into drawer aphasia. So look, you'll find them, as I said. I think Ishita has thrown them into the Q&A section of the webinar there, of where you'll find these. Lots and lots of different resources there. So we also so again, go through whichever ones you think are suitable and so on. We also, in our support section, you'll see, if you just hover over to support, you'll see AAC support for professionals. So we set this up kind of in collaboration with Amy Collins, speech therapist in Kildare, where kind of resources for helping, maybe if you haven't worked with AAC before, or you want to kind of decide, is this, you want to kind of put a little bit of structure around how we're going to implement or decide on whether AAC is a good route to go with somebody you're working with. We've kind of broken it down into different steps. So deciding on whether to pursue AAC with a client. So we've got that kind of pre-assessment resources. What is AAC? If you want to book a trial from us, so if you want to book one of our devices, how you do that, then you can go in and find the trial resources, which will give us, tips, data sheets for adults more so. So obviously with aphasia, so this would be kind of what you might track. Oh, I think it's broken. Let's have a look at that. But what you might track during a trial. So if you're trialing one of our devices, usually for 2 weeks, so it's giving you kind of some indication what you might trial. Then it's moving on to requesting a quote, or if you need step. But here you'll find as well where to next, where the aphasia resources and stuff like that. So and our knowledge base, where you'll find kind of Q&A and frequently asked questions and things like that in there. So again, it's just kind of guiding you along if you need help with implementing AAC or deciding whether AAC is right for somebody. It kind of takes you from that pre-AAC needs assessment to trialing the device, monitoring how that goes, and then if you do go down the road of getting the device or the software, how you can kind of follow up with support and using those resources. So again, that's under the support section, AAC for professionals. Go back to this. Was there anything more in this really? Let's have a look. We've done that. Choosing an AAC device, I suppose this is something we kind of talked about at the end of each of the webinars, was that obviously you've got, if we're going down the road of AAC, so who we're working with, what works best for them? Is it a dedicated AAC device, or do we use a consumer product like an iPad or a laptop or something like that? So or some form of tablet. So we can depending on the user, what do they need? Do they need a longer battery? Do they need something that's a bit more durable? Do they need something that has carry straps, etc.? What's their access method? For aphasia, more often than not, they are touch users, but every so often, we've worked with people with aphasia that need eye gaze devices and so on and so forth. So, what device is best for them? The performance, the battery, the speakers, the durability, and obviously cost and warranties, are all important. So again, you'll find you'll find all that hardware on our website. So if you wanted to have a look at any of that, or drop us a message and we can send you information, or you can trial a device or so on and so forth. So that's pretty much all I was gonna cover today on the AAC for aphasia.